Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Engracia ESleeswijk and I'm a business coach. I always say I try to make sense out of the nonsense. And basically, my focus is on helping people to get their life in order, but basically from getting it in order to progress to the next level. Well, this is a term that you have heard so many times, but these days I'm into the grown stuff, and the grown stuff is that I want to talk to you about issues that basically involve every one of us. Today, I want to talk to you about flexibility. In when we've reached circumstances like this right now, the COVID crisis and other crises, you see that people are basically saying, "Well, you should adapt to the situation." And while I'm a firm believer in going the next mile and putting your best foot forward, I do believe that even in crisis, you have to guard your limits. Well, how do you guard your limits when everybody is urging you to be flexible? Well, flexibility has something to do with the movement between two borders. That means that within that border, you are flexible. That means that if you are overstretched in whatever way, that you have overreached your border and you're not flexible anymore. That has nothing to do with the borders. It has everything to do with your will to stretch. In this difficult time, it's important that you realize what your borders are, your limits, and you have to guard them. Professionals are asked a lot of things these days, to work longer, to work harder, to put their best foot forward. And I know in this group, I can say that there are a lot of us who are able to stretch. The problem with stretching is that you have to realize that you deal with humanity, and humans are built, it's that thing, humans are built in a certain way. And the certain way is that if they feel that there is a bit more room to be stretched, they will stretch you. So colleagues and work and supervisors will ask more of you than you are willing to give. And what is more? More is working for a longer time than you want to without pay. That is more. More is being asked to do other people's work while they are, chilling. That is more. Professionals are, even in this time, you owe it to yourself to be flexible, but to guard your borders. So what happens? It happens. What happens is that you have to stand firm. Stand firm for what you believe in. Stand firm about what you think you are worth it. Stand firm for the things that you have built in a time when there was no crisis. See, the time and the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into things will not go away when there is crisis. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not worth it anymore. You are worth it, and it's worth it. So the best thing a professional can do is to make sure that other people are aware of the limits. But first, you yourself as an individual, have to be aware of your limits. So, what is a stretch of your border? Do you say yes to everything? These days, we call it non assertive or a people pleaser. If that's the case, then you have to make sure to figure out how it has been working for you so far. Are you satisfied? Are you happy with it? If you're happy with it, I'm not the one to say do something else. But if you're not and you're complaining, and when you're complaining first to yourself. If you're anything human like me, uh, what I do, I complain to myself in my head. So why, I start complaining to myself. Then, if I met somebody I trust, then I complain towards them. And the complaining is a sign that something is not right. You're overstretched. You're moving towards something that is not in your picture. Now, flexibility means that you have to be able to change the picture. And that means that the picture you have in your head, the vision for your life, the way you wanted it, due to crisis, due to circumstances, due to responses of people, you have to change the picture. And the older you get, you will notice that you have to change the picture faster because you don't have time to just stay and hope that things will get better. You have to move on. So changing the picture has nothing to do with not willing to keep the relationships, or nothing to do with building relationships. It has to do with you and the flexibility you have. Call it mental, call it physical, call it social. The flexibility you have, that is what you have to check out. If you are willing to give a lot, invest a lot, and go through a certain time of non responsiveness, that is a choice. But it's not something that you have to ask of everybody, because that's not how it works. What you have to do is you have to make sure that everything you do is done in a good mental state. So don't complain afterwards, after something happened and the picture didn't turn out to be as you want. Be flexible. Change it. Change the way you look at things, change the way you feel about maybe something you never anticipated, that this stretch would be a little bit too far for you. That could happen. So then you have to go back and put down your boundaries in a way that is feasible for you as a human, as an individual, and the way you want to live life. It's you have the flexibility and you have the choice to change your life, everything. Well, the willingness to change is something that will help you through life, to have the fluidity as water, to change and make sure that whatever you have to do at this moment, that's what you do. You don't go into a rage, or you don't get a mental breakdown. If you have to make changes now, be flexible, change the picture in your head, and move on. Move on, sis. Move on. Don't stay stuck in a certain way and hope that things will change. Things will change whether when you decide it's enough. It has to change, right? So this flexibility has some rules to it, and the rules are that you have to decide what the borders, the boundaries saying are of your life. What do I want for myself? How do I want to live my life? Is it the way I want it? And what do I have to do to change it? That's where the flexibility is. In your mind, you can change it whenever you want without giving somebody an explanation for it. Yes, I said this and that, but today I changed my mind and I changed my picture about how I felt things should be, you know? And the picture, you will change it when you rearrange and see the benefits or the disadvantages you have, right? Thank you. Nandiva, thank you. It's important that you realize that you have a choice. So here, this is the corner office we are building. This is the business we are building. We are building it from here. And this is the place where the boundaries should be set, not when the situation occurs. So it has to be done in a special way. And the way you do it is by making sure that you are the only one who knows what the boundaries are. If things are not working out, if things are going the other way and they are going in a way that you did not anticipate, change the script, change the way you talk, change the way you think, change your behavior, change them, because that means that one of those three are not adding up. And you're supposed to figure out what your life is supposed to be. But you're the only one responsible for that. And that is the true flexibility, you know? Then we're coming to the dark side of flexibility, the dark side of decisions, because a lot of people don't guard their limits because they are afraid of the response of maybe a coworker, of a supervisor, or maybe their own family. You know, that's the dark side of decisions. But many think that you should stay in certain places with certain people because of the security it gives you, and many has succumbed to that decision and basically they daily regret it by listening to the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and basically finding the consequences not being able very hard, you know. So the dark side of the decision, and that's a fact, and I'm a factual person, is people, no matter how much you love them, they will disagree with you, right? They will disagree with your decision. They will disagree with the way you want to live your life. They will disagree with the things you want for yourself. I've heard in my surroundings, hi, you. I've heard in my surroundings that people think that you're going for the grandiose when you are trying to figure out what you want your life to be. People think that it's about them that you want to have certain things. It's not about them. It's about that business or that professional path or that family you want to build in this office, in this corner office. This is where it's built. Nobody, nobody, no matter how much you love them, can keep you away from that. And if they do, you let them. So it's a thing to manage yourself through all these opinions people have, the society have, maybe you have about the way things should go. Remove the shoulds. There are no shoulds. There is only flexibility. Oh, okay. These are the parameters now. Then I'm going to live my life now. Yes, because if I finish if you finish through or pass through this situation, you will be able to pass through that other situation. And that's what flexibility does for you. It gives you confidence because even though some people say, well, I pray to God, yes, but he has an order for that. He says you pray and then you go to work. So you go to work here and then you figure out, how do I want it to be? And this combination that you have, maybe with family, maybe with friends, maybe with the source, is keeping you afloat towards the other decisions you have to make. People see decision making as arrogance because sometimes people envy people who are able to say, stop, you are closing my boundaries, I don't want that, right? It's a personal thing, and I'm sure that you have to build on it and you have to make yourself strong, because let me tell you, sis, if you hit rock bottom because you listen to the wrong people, the bottom will hurt. So from now on, when you hit rock bottom, let it be because you tried something. Let it be because you figured out that you want to work in a certain way. And if it works, wow. If it doesn't, pick yourself up, change the picture fast, fast, and figure out, do I work with the right people? Do I do the things, the right things in the right place? Is it for me? Or is the situation for me? Sometimes you have to go to a place. I went on um, a place where somebody said, well, I want to do business with you. And I went there. And as soon as I opened the door, the vibe was not my vibe. Be brave and thank the people for their time. Thank the people for their love and thank them for their intention that they called you. But know that if something is not for you, it's not for you. And what it will does do to you if you stay, it will eat at your corner office. And that's the place where nobody can come. The corner office is the place where we make management decisions. And the management decisions are the decisions about our life, about how we want it, about investing time now, working hard at things now, and reap the fruits in the future. You know, this is the time that the corner office needs to be at peace. And when you are switching and thinking all the time about other people's opinion about what you do, you will fill the corner office with a lot of people that are not supposed to be there. So take them out. And at any moment, you can take them out, right? And make sure that this corner office is free because this corner office will build up, give you the fluidity to say, ooh, I thought this was my thing, but I think I made a mistake. Let's switch it up fast. Let's move on fast and let's change the picture fast, right? Because if you are not able or willing to change the picture, you are stuck. And what happens to you is that you will try to put a bandage here and put a bandage here and put a bandage here and hope that everything will be all right, right? Then you like the person, a gardener in a garden full of wheat, and say, there is no wheat, there is no wheat, there is no wheat, there is no wheat. We would say, that is a crazy man. And still we behave like that, like crazy people when we know what we're after. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to do it. And still we listen to everybody and their mother because we think maybe we will hear something that will benefit us. No, you have to figure out and know, and you have to know this. Let me tell you this. Every time you have an idea in your head, you are the only one who sees it the way it's supposed to be. That's why nobody else can see what you see, right? That's why other people have ideas and you're like, no, we're not going that road. That's not what I saw. But it's so difficult if you're not trained to change the picture and guard the limits of your corner office and make sure that everything you do from intention, and the intention must match the vision in your head. And it's up to you to try and try and try again. That's not failure, mama. That's not failure. That is trying to get it right. And you have to get it right for you, for your family, for your future. You have to get it right. So every time you try, it is important that you make sure that everything you do is intentional. Okay? So that means you are not going towards people who are living their life today, just today, you know, and tomorrow is another day. That's fine. And I applaud you for that. I have never been like that. I'm someone who wants to invest time in the things I think are worth because in this corner office, I can tell you, there's a lot of things that I still want to do. So when I talk to my creator, I'm one of the people who says, I need 100 years for all the stuff I want to do. No, I'm not modest. I'm 51. I'm not modest anyone anymore. I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is I want time, because that's the only thing we need, people. We need time to figure it out. We need time to work it out. We need time to enjoy it. We need time to have the victory. We need time. So what we don't need is just money, because just money will do nothing for you. What you have to do is you have to make sure that every time you do something, you're in the middle of it. So if it goes bad, then you're in the middle of it. If it goes good, you're in the middle of it, you know? So that's what life is about. And when you make let people guard you in the way you want to use the corner office, that's when people are closing in on your flexibility, closing in on your free will. And this free will not capture you. And if you let somebody capture you, it will show up in a certain way. Remember the headaches. Remember the sicknesses, the illnesses. All of a sudden you get them and you don't know where you got them from. Remember the anxiety you built up. Remember the nervousness. All of a sudden, you turned from a secure, self-confident woman into somebody who's trembling at somebody who tried to speak to you. Do you know what it is? You let somebody into your corner office. Now, if there's anything you want to do today, I want you to sweep the floors, the mental floors. And you sweep the mental floors, and the first thing you do is take a piece of paper and say, I want. And then you start with listing everything you want. That's the first step in sweeping the floor. Sweeping them, get them out of your office. Get them out of your office. They're not worthy, they're not capable, and they sure don't have, I was gonna say something else. They sure don't have um, um, your vision. Okay, Jafiria, I'm going to answer your question. How to handle the situation when you have been deceived by somebody close to you, a person you supported and lifted? Well, you have to realize that people will deceive you when the picture you had of them was a different one than they really are, right? So you have to change the picture, because when somebody deceived you, they showed you their picture of you and the relationship they had with you. So when you support and lift somebody, it's an investment, and that's how I see it. It's an investment in you, because then you know how to do that, right? The deceiving part on their end shows that they were not the right person in your life. Move on, change the picture, and make sure that everything you want is something you harbor, you cover, you treat it like a baby, right? When somebody deceives you, they show you who they are. Believe them. Don't say, if I put a filter on there, then maybe they will show up in a better way. If I put some lipstick there, maybe they will come forward. Or maybe I should give more of myself. No, clean them out of your office, Jafiria. Clean them out of your office and make sure that everything you give is intentional, but it is between the limits you want to give, right? Between the limits you want to give, guard your limits, but be flexible. I love you guys. I'm looking for 10 people. I'm working on something, and I call it turn water into wine, because I believe that people have the capability, the ability to switch and make something out of their lives. So I'm looking for 10 people. If you're interested, please let me know. just reply on this, and I'll contact you. And then we're gonna start making plans, right? People, it's not about money. It's about this corner office. When the corner office is set, then you can make the money. Then you can make the promotion. Then you can do whatever you want to do, right? So if you're interested, please let me know. I love you. I love talking to you. Please let me know what you think. I will, if you have other questions, I will answer them in the next live, and I will try to figure it out, because today I'm on Thursday, maybe next week I'm on Friday. Just look at in the group, find me, and put your remarks there, right? I'm gonna work on my corner office. Love you.